Hi everybody, here is a video of a journal that I completed a while ago, and now I have decided to put it up on Etsy. It is my sunflower boho um, junk journal that I personally made myself, and I just want to show it to you. Let's get the ruler out. It is almost 7 inches. No, it is exactly 7 inches across, and it is almost 8 inches tall, maybe a little bit less, no, it's just about 8 inches tall. And then it has a spine that is 2 inches wide. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 signatures. It's tied on the side, and it has, let me open this up. It has an eyelet here on one side, and it has an eyelet on the other side to keep it tied. Okay, so we're going to open this up, and we're going to start by showing you what is inside. So inside here is an envelope that opens up, and it has 3 pockets. Inside here is a little writing space. Here is a tag for more writing. Over here is another tag for writing. And then when you close it, you have, did I do that right? Okay, let's close that. Yes, closes properly. And then here you have another writing tag spot for writing. Has an eyelet on the top, and it fits nicely and snug in there. Here is a ruffle that I made out of material. Here is a pocket with some writing space. Opens up, more writing material, paper to write on, and it fits nicely in there, closes up nicely. Over here is some braille that I made a pocket out of, and this is a vintage piece of a letter that somebody wrote to somebody in another language, and that is vintage. That sticks right nicely in there. And then turning the page is another really cute envelope that's made from material, some vintage material up here, stickles around, material across, and it's made out of a book page. And then inside is a coffee dyed paper for more journaling, and it's got flowers on the bottom that are stamped, and a stamp on the top that says friends are flowers in memory, scented gardens, and that goes nicely in here. Okay, so here is a coffee dyed, it's all coffee dyed paper. This is embellished with some stencils and easy to write on. Here is some side pocket, 2 pockets here, a pocket here stuffed with a tea card, some foreign money, and over here is a vintage piece of ephemera written in another language, and that's tucked nicely in the top here. A nice little interesting surprise for anybody who opens this up. And then there's plenty of writing space. Here is another piece of coffee dyed ruled paper, and lined paper rather. And then this is a handmade pocket. I should take it out really. And it's sewed with material. So this is an envelope sewed with material, the same material as the front of the journal. And then it has writing spots, you know, the writing paper inside. And then it sits nicely here. And what's nice about this journal is the extra space on the side so that I could put other things in it that wouldn't necessarily fit. Okay, so there's plenty of writing space. Here is a boho house made out of different papers, coffee dyed, sewed. Really cute, in my opinion. And then there's plenty of room to put more pockets. So this is a 3-pocket. There's room there, and there's room here for the recipient to put memorabilia. Plenty of writing space. Coffee dyed paper. Here is a pop-out little journal spot. And then there's more coffee dyed paper here to write on. And that goes right in here. So here's some vintage paper. And this says, during the Civil War, Robert E. Lee was offered command of the Union Army before he accepted his post with the Confederacy. So there's a little bit about Robert E. Lee in here. Moving along. You can see here is a little journal that you could pop out, take with you. This is a altered paper clip that keeps that nicely in there. And this has coffee dyed paper in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sheets plus. You can write on either side. And that sits nicely in here. And you know what's nice about this is that you can take it out, the recipient, and can put it anywhere they want. So there, and that looks really cute like that. Okay, so moving along, we have more writing space. Here is a great place to put things. Here's some more coffee dyed paper. Let's see, this opens up. And they can write little notes in there and then stick it in here. And it has stamps on it, and it's embellished with vintage material and a paper flower. Here is a writing spot which comes out, and they can, you know, write here. Let me see. I'm stuck here. Okay, and then it comes out, and the recipient can have plenty of space to write. They can even bring this, put this in their bag when they're going away, traveling, or just want to, you know, doodle on it, and that fits nicely in there like that. Okay, and then moving along, here is some stenciled paper that I did. Here is a piece of embellishment that I made with ink, several inks, and embellished with paper, sewed around it, put black splashes on it, and it's a great writing spot. And it fits here. This is a 2-pocket envelope here, so they can put this here in the back. They can put more, you know, memorabilia in here, whatever they want. And it's embellished with material and stamps, and then distressed. Here is an envelope I made, and it has a vintage letter that somebody was writing in another language, which is interesting for the recipient to open up and just see, you know, different things. It's very exciting. Okay, and then here is a another ruffle that I made, very boho. And moving along, here's a vintage card and another piece of embellishment with coffee dyed paper in here that is stamped. Really cute. I mean, whoever gets this, I think, will be very happy. And more stenciling. And then here is a vintage postcard, and it's addressed to someone in Ohio in November 13th, 1970. and they wrote a letter to someone in Ohio. Very interesting. And here is a vintage envelope sticking in there. Jerome Kern, author of Broadway musicals. And it doesn't say the, oh, it says 1885 to 1945. I think they're talking about, who is this? Roosevelt, I think. Okay, then moving along. Could be Jerome, actually I could be wrong. It could be Jerome Kern. Okay, moving along. Here's a tuck, side tuck that I made from a collaged, big collaged piece of paper, and then it was sewed. More writing space. Here is a piece, an embellishment that I made. So you can stick something in the top, in the bottom. I mean, behind it, not the bottom. And then here is a piece of writing paper for the recipient, and it sticks. It's coffee dyed. So that's coffee dyed. All of the paper in here is coffee dyed. And here is an envelope that I made from scrapbook paper. And it's got coffee dyed paper inside, which is probably 11 inches long by 2 inches wide. That folds up and goes nicely in the pocket. There we go. Then moving along, we have writing space. We have an old vintage document. It's dated 1930, and Interstate Compress and Warehouse Company. This is pretty interesting for anybody that's interested in things that are vintage. And then there's writing space on the back. Here is an embellished envelope made from music paper and scrapbook paper, and inside is an area for the recipient to write on. My favorite moment from today and the date, so they can write something on there and then stuff it back in here. There we go, nicely. And on the other side is another envelope with more coffee dyed paper. This is college rule, and that goes inside here. And the envelope is made from music paper that was then sewed and embellished with a ruffle. And then on the other side is a pocket in the back, and this is made from vintage book page, and it was sewed onto coffee dyed paper. So that stays in the back. Oh, and it's got a butterfly that is on both sides of the paper deliberately. So how cool is that? Okay, and that goes in there. And moving along, there's more. Okay, so here is an envelope, another envelope from music paper with coffee dyed college rule to write on. And that goes in here. Sorry for the struggle here. It's my nails. Can't seem to get them to... Okay, and now this is made from a vintage piece of sewing pattern. So I cut it out and coffee dyed the back. So there's writing spot. How cool is that? And she sits nicely in here. And then there's more writing space. And here is a writing pull-out piece of writing paper that's stamped, and that folds and goes behind the belly band like that, nicely. Then turning the page, here's another pocket. Again, I made this with distress ink and put some music paper here, sewed it on the back of some coffee dyed paper, and it sits nicely in this pocket that I also sewed and embellished with paper and clusters. So then turning the page is a stenciled page that I made. And here is another pocket with more writing space and a stamp that says Dream. And that closes with some stamp that says Trust. And then it's embellished with a piece of ruffled paper. Here is a recycled envelope that has a vintage picture of a boy with a dog, and it's sewed onto coffee dyed paper, and then it sits nicely. It's on vintage book page, and it goes back in here very nicely. And the pocket is embellished with stickles and a piece of material and a paper flower. So turning the page, we have another signature. Here is a pocket that I made with more writing space. This looks like music paper to write, music on. And here is another paper flower, and it's embellished with looks like vintage paper and a digi-kit. Okay, so here we go. Here is another ruffle, and here is a cloth tag made with material, and it's got a little eyelet. It's got a little eyelet here with material, and it's got this pretty little lady sitting there on top. And then in the back is coffee dyed paper, and it's all sewed around. And she sits nicely in there, and she matches nicely with this. I think I pulled this out, I'm not sure. Okay, so here is more coffee dyed paper for writing spot, and it tucks nicely in here. And this was made with vintage paper. So there's material on here. It's all decorated with material, and it's really very cute. And then it's embellished with stickles, and it's really, really pretty. Gold stickles. So turning the page, we have stamps of mushrooms, and then here is a fabric cluster. More writing space. Here is another tuck that I made from a big, large collaged paper. It's got stamps, different papers on here, and it's a great place to tuck. Here is a pocket made from, I can't think right now, made from, oh my goodness, was a senior moment, sorry. So this is made with Braille, and it's embellished around with distress ink. There's a nice cute little bow on here, and then it has some more vintage writing in another language. Really cool. And that stays in there for the recipient to check out. And that goes nicely in there. And here is an envelope that has one, let's get here, two, three areas to put some memorabilia. It's made with a recipe page. And then here's some ephemera for the recipient to play with. It's got some things in here, goodies that they can decorate their book with. Some stamps and punch outs and paper. So there's plenty of stuff in here for the recipient to, play with in their book. And I'll stick that all back in here. And this is made from a vintage book page. So moving along, more writing spot. Here's a coloring page that they can color and write on. Here is another pocket made with a vintage, no, this is made with scrapbook paper. And it's got the same material that's on the front of the book, sunflowers. And then here's more drawing page. Here is a stamped out, not stamped, stenciled page to write on. And here's more writing, more writing. Here is a belly band made with material, not material, it's made, well, it's backed on material, and it's got different clusters of paper, and it's got stickles on it and a little material here. And then you pull out an area where you can write on. That goes in there. And we're in the last signature, I believe. It's got more writing, and here is another decorated page with fabric. And then here is this is a 2-pocket envelope made on vintage, decorated with vintage paper. And there's 2 areas to put stuff in, and it closes with this little stamp. And here we go. Here's another area. This is made from a snippet roll. It's a pocket where this sticks in. And it's got a piece of paper that they can write on, and it's been decorated with a stencil. And that fits nicely in there. And these are here. This was a very popular craft that I did. And it's got plenty of space to put pockets. It's got 1, 2, 3 areas on this side, and then a place in the top where you can put stuff. And here's another stencil page. And plenty of areas to write and add stuff. Here is a vintage letter from the railroad. And it's signed here by Richard Miller and Interstate Compass and Warehouse Company. There we go. I wonder if it says the year. This is very vintage. It's over here. It says Mobile and Ohio Railroad Company, Vice President. I wonder if he's on the other side. Just curious. Doesn't say the year. This is very old though. Okay, so that's in there. More writing space. This is coffee dyed with a fabric cluster. And then on the other side is the same envelope, but over here. And it's filled with some, ephemera. Here's a bird with some interesting information about him. And that goes nicely in here. Another area. And this looks like it might be some kind of old vintage information on birds, I believe. Yes, information on birds. And that's in here. And this has the same thing on this side. It's got 2 pockets here, a pocket there, big pocket here, and then 1 pocket on this side. And then moving along, more writing space. And I think we're coming to the end. This is all writing space. And then over here is a pocket that opens up. And just like in the front, it's the same in the back. It has a tag that you can put stuff in here. And it's got a stamp that was purposely placed so that it's on both sides. And it fits in there with a heart stamp. And then over here, a little piece of writing spot. And then over on this side, you can put stuff here. This is material. You can put stuff on this side. And this sticks nicely in here. And then here's more writing space. So you can write on this, the front and the back. And that sits in this pocket nicely. And then it's trimmed off with material. So these two sides are pockets, and this is just embellishment. Now this folds up. It's been decorated with stickles all around, and it closes like this. Let me make sure that this is inside. Yep. And then it closes, and then in the back it's got a pocket. And this is another journal that pulls out, and inside there is a pocket on either side. So there's a pocket here. There's a pocket here, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 areas to write, and here's another place to put something over on this side. And on the front of this is a stamp. It says, "Friends are the flowers in memory-scented garden," and that's stamped in the front. And then it closes up, and it's embellished in the front, and it's got the same exact material as the cover. So the side, when it's not closed, it's about 5 inches, maybe 5 1/4, and then it has this ribbon that closes it. So to close it, I use just a pencil to get this through. Not this one. So I use a pencil and easily just poke it through, and then poke the other side. Very easy, simple. It's a gold piece of ribbon, and that ties it. Closed like so. And you can change the ribbon if you don't like this ribbon. It's interchangeable easily. And there you go. That is a journal that is going up on Etsy. If you like it, you can go to Linda's Crafting Depot and check it out. All right, wish you all a wonderful day. Bye-bye.